Future Legends Podcast, episode 62. Myself, Teon, is here back with Sid. Second time on the podcast. Morgan, who's now, two-time SBZ champ, New York tournament champ. So, a lot has changed since you've been away. But welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you.
Now, we're going to talk about the huge fight, the biggest fight in the history of boxing, according to Jake Paul.
I'm about to say, are we starting off with Amanda and Katie? Because don't be disrespectful.
Oh, damn.
Well, according to Jake Paul, it's the biggest fight in the history of boxing. I want to start talking about that fight because, obviously people are going to talk about it all week and it's trending and it was a big fight. It was on Netflix, so I give them credit for that. The first boxing event on Netflix.
They got to do better with the stream, though. It kept freezing and pausing.
It was a lot of people on it.
Yeah, it's some things to work on.
Yeah.
But I just want to start off, now that the fight is done, it happened. We seen an old Mike Tyson. We seen look like he didn't belong in the ring. How did you feel about the event? Morgan, you can start it off.
What do you mean by the event? Just
from top to bottom, just the card, the production,
the crazy
Netflix,
part,
everything.
The undercard was amazing. I think it was an amazing. Is there? That's the camera. Yeah. I'm over here looking here. The undercard was amazing. I thought it was dope. Had Shushu on there, and then you had Tyson. We representing Brooklyn. Yeah. So I was happy to see that. You had Amanda as well. So I was happy with that. Having it on Netflix, I also thought was dope. Gave a lot more people opportunity to see it, especially the women's boxing. Put a lot more eyes on that as well. So I was definitely happy with that. I feel like that was fight of the year again, but we're gonna get to that. My only complaint I would say was the freezing that was going on with the stream. Really, that was kind of blowing mine. But other than that, I think it was a dope event. I will say I'm not a fan of Jake Paul, but I'm a fan of what he does for boxing. So yeah.
I respect that. Sid, how you feel about the event?
I'm not gonna lie, the event was actually dope. I think I told you that too. I said boxing might not work on Netflix or whatever it is. But I think this was good. The event was good. I mean, it seemed like a great turnout because every time they zoomed,
70,000.
Yeah, because every time they zoomed out, there was no misses. There was no space. There was no missing C. So, it was good. I think they did great with the event. Honestly,
I feel the same way. I think it was a great event for Netflix, a great event for Jake Paul and his promotional company. In terms of for boxing, let's see if these people keep watching because they said 65 million people tuned in, which I know a lot of them was for Mike Tyson and Jake
Absolutely.
Paul. Probably all of them, to be honest.
Mike Tyson.
They did have the first fight of the night. It was a Indian actor and I think a Brazilian YouTuber. Their following is crazy. See, nobody knew that.
I missed that fight.
That was shown on Netflix?
That fight was horrible.
Oh.
But
damn.
Okay.
But they have a huge following. So I can see what MVP did was, okay, we got international crowd. We got the boxing fans with the Barrios fight and the Amanda
that was a
and
good
Katie.
Fight.
And then we got the, just the casuals to see Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. So I think MVP, Most Valuable Promotions, they did a great job with putting everything together. Okay, we know how to get people to watch. And I give them a lot of credit for that. Now to talk about the fight. There's no need to break down anything and nothing like that. This is just to talk to the people who never boxed before, never sparred before, never got hit, never hit somebody before, never ran miles before, never
the couch
did
potatoes.
Yeah, never did sit-ups.
The internet thugs.
Boxing is hard when you're 18, when you're 19, when you're 20.
When you're 30.
Y'all expected too much from a 58-year-old. The fight, it wasn't rigged.
He was hurt.
It wasn't a script. He was 58.
I disagree.
You think it was scripted or rigged?
I'm going to say this. If you really look at that first round, the way Tyson came out, people say, it was, adrenaline or whatever. If you look at that first round, he came out slipping and moving. Jake looked like, damn, wait, he not sticking to the script. It really looked kind of like Jake... I'm saying from my perspective,
I didn't say anything.
You over here shaking your head.
I didn't say anything.
I'm saying from where I was sitting on the couch, I was sitting there. It looked like Jake looked nervous. Jake looked nervous. And then Tyson was actually kind of throwing in the first round. He actually landed a few that looked like it kind of shook Jake a little bit. One time his foot kind of did one of those. He did not look like, Was the trunks $1 million or the shoes were $1 million?
I don't know, but Tyson didn't have on no drawers.
I'm talking about Jake.
All right, love that. Go ahead.
Either which way, them shoes, he had no grip, or either Tyson hit that hard. Because while his footing got, he did not look nearly as good as he's looked against these other, even though they're not Tyson, they're still younger. They're probably in better shape. They're healthier. And he looks a lot more comfortable with them than he did with Tyson.
And we spoke about this last week. Starstruck.
I was about to say.
But I don't feel like it was starstruck. I feel like when, bro, I'm telling you, I wish somebody would have recorded my reaction in them first 15 seconds because I was scared at first. And then Tyson came out doing this and moving. I was like, oh,
but
he
that's
got it.
why, though. You have to understand, right? Tyson was already boxing professionally, doing rounds when Jake was 8 years old.
Okay.
So he grew up with the notion like, yo, this is Iron Mike Tyson. Yeah, he might, in his mind, he's 60.
I'm not talking about Jake, though. I'm talking about Tyson, what Tyson was doing.
But you saying Jake looked surprised. You saying like...
Yeah,
I'm saying when he got touched, he looked like, damn, like, oh no, he really got power.
Yes.
It looked like he was bothered by Tyson. And then it's like round 3 came, and all of a sudden now Tyson is sucking his thumb. Literally biting the glove, just biting the glove, not trying to throw no punches, he just slipping everything, making it impossible for Jake to really touch him with ease and not throwing nothing back. That's what made me feel like, nah, they must have told him, if you don't hit him or you don't hurt him, we got an extra 10 million sitting on the side for you. Because he was not trying to hurt. You got me about to say Drake because you kept saying that. He really wasn't trying to hurt Jake at all. He was just like, I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna stay in the ring. I'm gonna bite my thumb so I don't hurt him and keep the fight going.
See, I'm gonna say this, right?
Actually, on the last episode, me, Kenny, and you, in 3 different ways, we explained that whole thing.
Exactly.
I watched it. I heard
she's contradicting herself though, because she's not 60 years old.
I've
seen her spar. Was so tired this is after round 3. Was so damn tired, mind you. She's 32 years old.
Tell my business.
She's in her prime. I've seen her literally in round 3 or 4 sit on the ropes or sit in the middle, and I say, yo, throw punches, and she'll look at me and be like, I'm too tired. And she'll still move her head.
But I would not.
She'll still move her head. Again.
I would be getting hit with stuff, though, and all that. Tyson was not getting hit. Tyson was literally
all right, so
with
ease. With that point, what Kenny said, fighting instincts don't leave you. But when it's time to actually think about something and counter, it's hard to do it.
But he wouldn't even throw, bro.
Because
you tell me.
Jake, you see how big that ring was?
Jake was moving.
Shit, I gotta walk over there.
Whatever.
You gotta understand, like, no, but this is real life though.
So then why didn't Jake? So y'all gonna say that? Okay, Jake was just like, I'm gonna carry him to the
At
end.
a certain point.
Although all the build up was, I'm gonna knock him out. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that.
But he's supposed to say that. You think?
But he didn't even attempt to try to hurt him.
He did. He did. He threw a 4-punch combination. Even I got nervous because I wanted. I'm not gonna front because people. I say straight up, I wanted Tyson to get knocked out to show people.
So you say fighter instincts don't leave. He threw a 4-point combination and then Tyson didn't even throw back. That's what I'm saying.
You see, this is not. I'm not gonna tell you to go rewatch the fight because realistically, who cares? But nobody's not gonna rewatch this old man fight. But like what you said, I didn't really care if Tyson got hurt or not before the fight. I didn't care because I just want people to understand that an old man, it don't matter if he fighting a boxer that's not good.
He shouldn't have been there. I agree.
Yeah, like you're not gonna be able to win. But I think it was the beginning of round 2 or 3. Because I said the confidence is going to switch.
Mm-hmm.
Jake is going to start off with low confidence. Tyson is going to start with high confidence. And it's going to switch because Tyson is old. And Jake is going to realize, oh shit, he old. I can step to him.
Yeah.
And about round 3 or 4, he just started throwing. And I think it was like a double
and
hook
missing.
or a jab.
When that make you...
This combo landed. And Tyson kind of did a
that
bounce.
one.
And I was like,
one. Okay,
and Jake went to double. And Jake double jab. And if Jake was an asshole, Jake would have lined him up.
He is an asshole.
No, he would have lined.
That made me view Jake in a different way.
Exactly. The way I'm gonna tell you how I view Jake now. But look, Jake double jab. Tyson hop back, losing balance. If Jake was an asshole, Jake would have said, "All right, I got you," and knocked him out clean. But again, like you said though, I think you said it on the podcast or off the podcast. If Jake knocks out Tyson, the whole world's gonna hate him.
Yeah,
and even I was like, I don't think so. But then I started thinking about it, like even I watching Tyson get hit like that, I got nervous for Tyson because in the beginning I wanted Tyson to get hurt to show people like, yo, this is not a game. He's 60. When he got hurt, I was like, yo, I hope Jake don't knock him out. Yeah. And I think Jake started carrying him because there was moments where Jake would hit him, 3-punch combination would land, and Jake would just be like, ah shit, all right, and back up and just like kind of paw the jab or just kind of let him breathe. I really think this display was more of like, one, it was, again, money's involved, right? $20 million for Tyson, guaranteed, $40 million for Jake. So that's we gonna do this together. I also think, and then I really truly feel like it's a display to the fans that, again, miss Tyson in terms of like they saw him box before, and they kind of miss how Tyson is, Tyson being in the limelight now through the podcast and just being around boxing. I think people just want to see Tyson fight again. And then I think this was also a display for people like me that never saw Tyson live to just say, yo, let me see what this old, like even being that old, let's see a little bit of Tyson. Why not? I feel like it was just like a, kind of like a Stan Lee thing, right? Where he always wanted, like, he made Marvel, he just wanted, like, he wasn't really acting, he just wanted to be in the movie. I really think this was like, all right, let's cash out for the fan. One, Tyson can make lots of money doing this. And you can just show the fans, like, yo, like, I'm not back, but here, it's Tyson again in the ring, having fun. He's old. He wasn't going to do nothing. There was nothing for him to do to defend or anything. His instinct kicked in at a certain point. Yeah. And then, again, the oldness kicked in too, where it's like, I'm tired. My knees hurt. My feet hurt.
I don't like how you using me as an example to explain that, though.
Nah, but look,
it's true. It's
hard, bro. Like, but for people who don't fight, they don't get it. So, like, you see
I'm not denying. I'm just saying don't use me as the example.
I mean, you a guest. This is what comes with the Future Legends podcast. We're going to use you as an example, and you got to take it.
All right.
Nah, but just before we move on now, I just want to ask, for Mike Tyson, it's a big paycheck, it's easy money, but it is a health risk. Mm-hmm. How much credit does Mike Tyson deserve for actually doing the training camp and actually fighting a younger man that, whether, let's say it's not scripted, we don't know if it's a real fight or not, going into that fight, it's a possibility that you can get knocked out by a younger man. Mm-hmm. So how much credit does Mike Tyson deserve for even taking this fight? You can start it off.
I feel like he deserves all the credit in the world, especially after the first fight got canceled due to health reasons or whatever, and people, y'all included, were making jokes and cracking jokes on him not knowing how serious that situation was.
You heard what happened though, right? He was about to die.
Really damn. Wait, what?
Oh, damn. Yeah, issue your apology. Look in that camera and apologize.
Nah, y'all serious?
Yeah, he PT'd
apologize.
He was like, oh,
nah, my bad. All right, I take back my jokes. Nah, I didn't know he was. Nah, y'all fucking.
He just said it. Yeah, he just released a statement. He said
he lost mad blood and shit.
That was the reason?
Yeah, he lost like weight because of how much blood he lost.
Oh, damn. All right, nah, I'll take back my jokes. All right, it wasn't funny. Like, it was funny in that moment when we didn't know what was happening.
You're still laughing, bro.
Nah, I'm laughing.
Take a deep breath and be serious. That's crazy.
I'm sorry.
Anyways, I feel like he deserves all the credit in the world, like I said, because he could have, said, forget it. I trained. My body's not up for it. I'm old, whatever. You got everyone coming at him saying all the craziness. You got these young dudes who don't really know who Mike is. And, they on Jake's bandwagon and everything like that and supporting him. So he had a lot riding against him outside of the health and his age. Mm-hmm. And he still did the thing, showed up, looked great, made it look good. The defense, he's still one of the best in the world doing his moves. Like, I enjoyed it. I loved it. And I'm happy for him. I'm happy he walked out healthy. I hope in a few weeks it remains the same. A few months remains the same. No delayed effects or anything like that from the fight. And yeah.
See, that right there though is exactly why the fight happened. That I truly believe that. It was no way of like, oh, let's see if he has, like, if he can beat Jake. The reason you was happy to see Tyson in the ring. And
I was not happy to see him in the ring. I did not want that fight to happen. No, I'm happy to see that he made it out the ring safely and happy.
You wasn't happy to see like him moving. Like, it was kind of cool.
It excited me while it was happening, but at the same time I was stressed out the whole fight.
You're thinking about like Jake knocking him out.
I was stressed out the whole fight.
See, that's the thing. You're thinking about Jake knocking him out. For them though, for Tyson and Jake, or Jake,
it wasn't even just
like Jake
though. Like, one time he got to the corner when they violated him with the snot. The face he made, I'm like, yo, is he all right? Like, I didn't know if he was going to have like a heart attack.
I feel like the water was cold.
I don't know what it was, but I'm just saying overall, I think he's almost 60. You know what I'm saying? I was nervous for him, period.
I mean, of course.
I think that's the moment I felt bad too. When he got in the corner, he sat down and they giving him advice and he like, use the jab.
I mean, I'm still really surprised the fact that people thought he really had an actual chance. Yo, 2 years. No, hold on.
They don't respect Jake Paul. That's why.
But then again, it's like, bro, people live in like this fantasy world. Like, they Holyfield fight 2 years ago on the exhibition. Holyfield beat Tyson twice, bro. Like, Holyfield was that guy, and
he fought Vitor Belfort. Now, Vitor Belfort is a good MMA fighter. He's a recognizable name. He's like one of the top dudes. He wasn't like one of the greatest of all time. No. He was good, but one of his biggest highlights is Anderson Silva knocked him out with a front kick.
Exactly.
That's like his biggest highlight. He stomped.
And that's the thing. Imagine if Holyfield had to fight him in his prime. Holyfield would have killed him.
Because the thing is, even Belfort was already an older guy that don't even fight no more.
So,
and he stomped it. He just because he's
Yeah,
younger.
exactly.
58. Yeah, so it's like if Holyfield would have fought Jake, Jake is not as mean as somebody like Belfort, because Belfort is like actually an experienced fighter. He's like knocked people out before. So it's a little bit different, like the energy. Like he wouldn't have showed Tyson mercy.
No.
Because he's not a boxing guy.
Right.
It's MMA versus boxing. He said, okay, I'm going to stop you.
Yeah.
And he would have stopped Tyson.
He would stop Tyson.
Yeah. A lot of other dudes that's why I said I give Jake a little credit, because I seen moments where I was like, yo, in other Jake Paul fights, once he hits you like this, he going to throw something.
So you don't think none of it was like I'm afraid to press forward if he catches me, if he clips me?
No, yeah, early.
Yes.
But then I think, like I said, the confidence started to change because he
I'll
got tired really fast. Like,
you think
as he
Tyson was
should.
tired?
You seen his face in the corner?
He is tired. That man is, every time he came back to the corner, he looked hurt.
Anytime Jake shuffled away,
he looked hurt.
It's like, like when you got to jump start your legs, he had to jump. Like, let me jump. All right, I'm good. And then he'll walk
so
up
y'all didn't think it was weird at all, the whole biting of the glove thing? Like
That's what
Tyson always used to do that. So for those who don't
I don't
watch,
recall him doing that like
always,
that.
that was always the thing. That was the
for
thing.
Those who don't watch Tyson fights, just go back and look at some of his fights, not highlights. If you make Tyson miss big, he gets frustrated and he bites his glove.
Yeah.
If you make him miss big, he gets mad. So it's kind of like,
That's
okay.
what I'm saying. He wasn't even throwing it; he just was biting.
No, but that's probably his way to show frustration.
He's
That's
frustrated.
Okay.
Because you gotta remember Tyson fought.
So
and
it was
he
like the frustration from not being able to have
to
the
catch him.
movement.
It's like, yo, like because look, he like you said about him dodging. He was dodging and defending a lot of good stuff, but he couldn't counter.
Right.
Like somebody asked me this morning, I was like, yo, why don't you think he could have countered? Because he's 58.
That hurts.
Like even when I'm out of shape, I can defend, but I can't counter when I'm out of shape. I gotta actually be sharp to counter.
Yeah. Okay, I hear you.
So
fine. Still rigged, but okay.
All right. I mean, listen, people think it's rigged. Someone sent me a video showing like the script of what should have happened in every round. And it was like
too much money.
That's what I'm saying. People are doing too much. People
it's
just,
not Creed.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. People are doing too much, really thinking it's rigged. It wasn't rigged. The fight's not rigged. They both. If you
I
want to say
like there was an understanding.
yeah,
Don't
I'm
knock me
saying like,
out.
exactly. It was an understanding.
Which I don't even think that.
I don't even think that's what I'm saying. I think
do.
Jake thought. I think they both thought Tyson had more than what he really had. Yeah. And then once Jake started realizing, oh, nah, he don't really got it. He's 60. Let me not. And then every time I'm throwing, like he does look like, because you gotta remember, if you're in front of if you have sparred before, or at least fought before, right? Because sometimes in sparring, if you gotta, some people have big ass headgear, you can't really tell their face expressions. But if you at least fought professionally or even at a good amateur level, you can read your opponent's face. And I feel like Jake saw Tyson being as old as he is, right? And he probably looked old. It's like, all right, I'm hoping you don't knock me out. Yeah, I'm hoping you don't knock me out. I'm taking this chance, right? But let's carry this on. Let's let the legendary Tyson finish strong. Because I'm not gonna lie. Let's be honest. If Jake had knocked out Tyson,
it would have been hard making it out that building.
Yeah, I'm not gonna front.
Okay, one question then, for real. Throughout the whole training camp, was Tyson not sparring? Like, do you think he wasn't?
We don't see the whole camp. So
that's what I'm asking. Like, I'm just confused. Would he not have been sparring and doing, preparing for the fight? Like, not just working out and doing pad work.
Yeah.
I would think he was actually in the ring, taking punches, giving punches, countering, moving around the ring.
No. See what you're saying though, right? And for everyone that fought at a certain level, or even just you fight at a high level, especially professionally, the fights are never the hardest. Honestly speaking, man, they fought for what, 30 minutes, whatever. It's not that hard. The fights are not that hard. The training camp is. That's what you gotta remember. This guy is.
So you feel like he got burnt out from?
Yes, there's a lot of fighters that get burnt out from training camp.
Making it to the end, I give Tyson credit making it to the end, but then like Mayweather was openly talking about his McGregor camp. He was like, he couldn't make it through a week. He was like, for the McGregor camp, he would train like 4 days out the week.
Mm-hmm.
You can't cut that in a real fighting situation.
Exactly.
He would train 4 days on, 4 days off, 4 days on, 4 days off. You can do that when you're fighting somebody like a McGregor.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Floyd doesn't want to fight nobody real, because he's like, my body can't take it.
Okay.
And that's Mayweather that didn't take a lot of punishment, lived a healthy lifestyle, and that was in his 30s when he fought.
Exactly.
I think his late 30s, or maybe he was 40. I can't, you got to fact check me. But with Tyson now, I guarantee you he did not make it one full week. I guarantee you.
I think
they probably have to do 2 days,
about that thing.
Take a couple days off to recover.
Yes.
And I know it. I no way in
that makes
hell.
sense.
And I think, didn't he say that though? Didn't he say he was like, he trained, I think a day or whatever it was, and then he had to like take days off because
for the Roy Jones fight, he said that on Joe Rogan.
Exactly.
Podcast.
So
he said, like, you see that video? He said, I had to sit down for a week. And Joe Rogan was laughing. He said, it's not funny. He was like, it's not funny. Like,
All right, that makes sense.
Yeah,
That
I'm
makes
saying
sense.
he's old,
okay.
bro.
Because
All right.
look, you can't at that
See,
point.
that's why I like talking to y'all.
At
I
that
understand.
point, you're not going to turn down the fight.
No,
No.
20
Where it's like
20
20
million?
million,
Nah.
and you know
20
that's
million,
they
bro.
getting some extra sponsors,
yeah.
all this other
Yeah.
shit.
Hell yeah.
Tyson
yes,
had the
yes,
Let's Fucking Go
yes.
T-shirt on. How much
Yeah.
million they probably paid him for that?
The thing,
So-
you know what's crazy though? I don't know if it's no, you didn't say it. Someone said it, but I told someone I was like, yo, look, Tyson was what 55. Like he ended his career with 55-5, I think, with 4 knockouts, or 55-6
Something
with
like that,
5
yeah.
knockouts. It was something like that, right? So one, Tyson's not invincible. He is. He's been knocked out 4 or 5 times,
Mhm.
right, and lost 5 or 6 times. So we already know he's not invincible. And then people was like, oh no, but he got knocked out by great ones. Okay, one, at the end of his career, he started to get flatlined by guys that can kind of be considered bums a little bit. Like it wasn't that. So now, and then somebody said, oh, but that was the end of his career. My point. So you trying to tell me at the end of someone's career in their 30s, right? All of a sudden he's gonna hit 60 and be like, all right, now I'm 20 again. Doesn't work like that. It really doesn't work. And again, Tyson probably before Roy Jones, Tyson probably wasn't even training like that.
He's just chilling.
He was
Yeah.
just chilling.
You're right.
He was
Okay.
just chilling. So then the Roy Jones fight hurt him. He probably sat his ass down for a bit, got offered this money, and was like, all right, now I got to fight someone young. I actually got to train. Remember, Roy Jones was old too. So they have a clear understanding of like, all right, they both not
Play
Jones.
feels a little
They kind of know
even.
how to play. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? They kind of know how to play and move and whatnot. He's finally a young guy that's still he only has 7 fights?
Yeah.
7 fights in his
Nah,
whole.
I think he has probably like 12.
12
I think that was number 12 for professional year.
So if you look at it, right, technically he just went open class,
Yeah.
right? He never did amateurs.
No, I know. I'm just laughing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you gotta look like Jake still doesn't know how to really play in that sense, right? He doesn't know how to like touch. So Tyson really have to train for just in case. Just in case he lets a counter go and I get fucked up.
Yeah.
Like he had to train, and that's a wear and tear on his body at 58 years old. That's it. It wasn't rigged. He was just old, and we got to see
Alright.
something great. Just accept it. Just
I'm
accept
still
it.
clapping up for him.
Yeah, no,
Tyson,
100%.
Definitely. I
100%.
give him credit for that. Last thing
Alright.
before we move on from this fight, hopefully we never have to talk about this fight again. But
Please.
for Jake Paul now, fighting Mike Tyson in the Cowboy Stadium, 80,000, 70,000 people, whatever. In terms of stardom and how much money he made, he's kind of at the pinnacle of what a boxer can do.
Mm-hmm.
What is next for Jake Paul?
Go away. Just be a promoter. You're doing good stuff for the sport.
That's a good point.
I'm saying you're doing good stuff for the sport. Tyson is like, who you gonna fight next?
Yes.
Like,
Anything you
Layla
do
Ali?
next is
I'm
like
confused. Like, you can't fight Muhammad, so I'm just saying, like Clarissa. I don't know. Like I'm just saying to get the clout and like for someone to care. Who was there for him to fight? Because the whole Tank thing to me was just kind of like,
it's not happening.
He's
right,
being
just
funny.
be
He's
funny. Wait, we gotta go back. So, at the end of the fight where Tyson called out Logan, Logan's face had.
He was like,
he said, "What the fuck I do to you? I'm not even in this." That shit was funny.
they were supposed to fight before, that's why.
Yeah, that shit was funny.
Yeah.
But
that's
I feel
like some sibling rivalry shit. I think that it's not gonna happen. Maybe it would because they're not real boxing people, but Logan versus Jake.
That would be fun to watch.
fine. But I'm just saying, I feel like when it comes to boxers, it's like
It's nothing he can do.
we don't care.
It's
Honestly,
the pinnacle.
I feel like if he's gonna keep doing it, cool. But it's just for the undercards for people like me at this point. But that's why I say that he should just step out and just do the promotion. But I feel like he likes the limelight, so he's gonna continue to be the main
He's
event.
still young.
Yeah, so I don't see anything that he can really do that we really care for. But I'll still tune in because I see what he's doing for the rest of boxing. So as long as the undercards continue to be great, and I might be on an undercard one day. Who knows?
Actually, I'm gonna say this. I think it's actually good for his promotion. For his MVP on promotion for him to fight. Cause like, let's be honest.
That's what I'm saying. People are gonna tune in. Yeah.
Yeah, people are gonna tune in. So it's actually, like you said, it's great for the undercard. Because
Yeah.
people hear if he just promotes, if he steps away and just promotes, I don't think a lot of people.
That's what I'm saying. So I feel like he will still fight and make himself the main event.
Yeah, it's good to
But
see.
I just don't know who he's gonna fight that people are gonna care to tune in though.
There's still a lot of basketball players, football players, whatever, other influences. I don't know. He's not gonna fight real
At
boxing.
some point though, he's gonna have to take
No,
the
he-
L
What? Oh,
to make people stay interested, or else everyone's gonna continue to think it's rigged, it's staged.
not even that. Because people
It's gonna
keep
They're,
lose
they're
its-
always gonna think that. Also.
exactly. But look at that.
No, I feel like if he fights someone and it's a good fight and he loses or whatever.
Like, look, he lost to Tommy Fury. They said
Oh,
he
yeah,
lost
that one,
because
but
they
that-
said Tommy Fury, he has too much pride to do a rigged fight. Tommy Fury got more pride than Mike Tyson. Tommy Fury, he's about to fight Darren Till, UFC fighter, on Misfits, and he fought KSI. People are they just don't want to accept that Jake is actually average.
I thought you were about to say good. I'm about
no,
go crazy.
No. He's an average level boxer, which if you've been boxing for that long, you should be an average level boxer. He has the time and money to train. He's average. They don't want to accept that. They just don't he's not a boxer. It's like the people that's saying that, even some of the boxers that's saying that the low level amateur dudes, Jake could probably stop you. And it's
I agree.
Y'all just be talking.
I don't have a problem with influencers doing boxing as long as they're.
That's different. I do, but that's.
No,
I do.
I don't.
It's
like
to an extent. I don't know. Okay, I don't like the whole influencer boxing thing. That I don't like. But I'm saying with him, he's at least putting in the time to train and
he switched. He crossed over.
That's what I'm saying. So he's not really just like influencing guy anymore. Like he's now. So I take it back. I don't mind Jake doing boxing as long as he's putting in the work and not making a spectacle of it. The rest of them, they can stay over there with that. Yeah. But if he's going to take it serious or whatever, and again, it's bringing money into the sport and, doing what we need to do for the sport, then I'm cool with it. I just don't personally care to see him.
No, because he's still new. This
is the first fight of his I actually watched while it was happening in a long time. I think maybe since like the second Woodley fight, because I bet on that one.
I haven't. I don't really care to watch him. There's nothing about him.
Only because I bet on him.
See him.
I bet on him, so I had to watch to make sure I get my money. But outside of that, this is like the first one that I've watched live. So.
And it actually shows that I can't say he sucks because he just started, but he sucks.
Yeah, it's not for us.
It's not
for us. Yeah.
I mean, he has he's a long way to go, but
like 10 years, and he ain't gonna go that long.
Nah.
So now moving on, co-main event. There was like the boxing's real boxers main event. Katie versus Amanda. Shout out to Jake because they got 55 million people that they said they tracked the data that watched that fight. So you had 55 million people watching.
That's dope.
I know it was a little laggy, so hopefully they actually got to see the fight.
Yeah, we got to see it. You have to come out and go back in or whatever. Like when it first started, it froze for a minute and then we came out and then it was on round 4. And I was like, damn. But he was able to rewind it though. That was a good thing about Netflix. But I was stressed. Like what the hell happened? But it was good.
Yeah.
All right.
So with the eyes on that fight and that being a great fight, some little controversy in the way people view the decision and stuff like that. But in terms of the impact of that fight for women's boxing, this fight being right as the co-main event, how good was that for women's boxing?
It was amazing. The money they made, first off, wow. Someone had put up a post that when Heather Hardy had won her title only 6 years ago, she only made $20,000.
Yeah, damn.
She only made $20,000, and to this day, I feel like that's crazy. What she's done for the sport and everything else, and now how she sacrificed her body and all that, it's just like $20,000 for a title fight is insane. So for Amanda to be able to make that money, Katie to be able to make that money, and have now set the standard, set the bar. Because going forward, not to say every woman now is going to make millions of dollars.
How much you made?
I think 6 and 8.
They said 7 figures, so
it was 6. I think it was 6 and 8.
That's good.
Yeah, one person made 6, one person made 8.
Damn.
Either which way, I feel like what's the most Clarissa has ever made in a fight? Has she even broke $1 million yet?
1.2.
Exactly.
1.2, I think. 1.2.
Exactly. And how long did it take for that to happen? Right. So I think the average woman. I mean, you probably could look it up, but I don't think the average woman makes more than $100,000 after the fight and paying off your managers and all that. I don't think they walk away with more than $100,000. And that's probably like Baumgartner and Michaela and all them. They're like top level. So I think this was great because it now sets the standard for women. Like people are tuning into our fights. Yep. People are watching our fights. So y'all need to pay us. And we put on a better show than the men. I'm sorry. We put on a better show than the men. And so we should be paid as such. So that's how I see it.
And now to go on to that point, what you said, the better show, it's a rare exception because Amanda and Katie, they had 2 fights and they both were bangers.
Mm-hmm.
Now, outside of Amanda and Katie, if it was 2 other women, just random women that was in that slot, do you think it would have been a good fight, or just because Amanda and Katie is that special fight that you put on the card?
We've seen other women fights. I mean, I don't know if y'all watch women boxing like that. There's been other women fights. Okay, if you wanted to say the recent one, the Michaela and Sandy Ryan, that was a great fight.
So you feel like that could also
that was an amazing fight, even without all the controversy. The fight alone was an amazing fight. When Alicia Baumgartner fought Michaela, another amazing fight.
I disagree with that one.
I thought that was an amazing fight.
I think that was a snoozer.
You feel like that was a snoozer,
They was
really?
looking at each other. I didn't like that fight. It was too much of.
I feel like it was a technical fight. McKenna's a real more technical fighter, and Baumgartner likes to like throw big punches, and she had to kind of like really box that fight. I felt like that, so I don't feel like she was able to just have her way that fight typically. So I could see for someone it wasn't as fast paced as she usually is. No,
Yeah, because like,
but
Katie
I still
and
feel like it
Amanda
was a great fight.
Yeah,
Katie and Amanda
was
is like going.
Right, it was brawn, but then you have men who fight who are not going. Those are technical fights, and still people consider them good fights.
No, but they don't. But they don't get the money or the eyes. That was my point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I feel like as good as this fight is for women's boxing, sets the bar kind of high. In
But
terms
okay,
of
look at
to
the
be
last
able-
fight Canelo had with the twin.
He's already, but the difference is Canelo's already established.
No, I know, but I'm just saying in terms of the caliber of the fight. I'm talking about a snoozer. That was a snoozer.
100%.
100%. Well, yeah.
That was a snoozer. But my point is, Katie and Amanda set the bar so high that in terms of entertainment, the only other entertainer fighter I think, in terms of women of that level, is Clarissa Shields. Clarissa is entertaining. It's just sometimes her opponent is not on her level and she doesn't get the KO, so people criticize. But Clarissa throws a lot.
She throws,
combinations,
she throws,
counter
she
punching.
throws.
She has a nice walkout to the ring. She's hyping
She's
up the press.
flying,
She has
flashy.
a
I love
personality.
Well, I think it's happening because then you have, I'm not completely a fan, but you have OTX doing their thing now. And like you had O'Shea fight. She about to fight for a title. O'Shea is a very
She's
exciting
good.
fighter.
She's good. She's a good
I feel like I
fighter.
could see her in a couple fights being on one of those type of cards, on an MVP card, and drawing in an amazing crowd. So there's a lot of up and coming female fighters right now who get in that ring and they understand like the characters there. People understand you gotta have personality and all that. Like it's changing. So I see it happening. I feel like women are able to put on great shows. And so I think now that bar has been set, I feel like it will continue to be met as well. And I feel like the payout should meet as well. Should match.
But it also boils down to every boxer, every fighter needs a dance partner. Amanda and Katie were perfect for each other. The bar, and that's what you're saying. The bar is so high where
because that was like men or women. That was
exactly
both of their fights are some of the greatest fights of all time.
Absolutely.
And then again, so you have to look at like who, because you can't just look at names, right? Because you can get two superstars fight each other in snooze fest, right? What other female you can think? What other female fight you can think that's gonna be exciting like that?
But that's what I'm saying. I feel like, okay, Clarissa made her announcement that she's going down to 154. O'Shea's making movement at 154. I feel like by next year, maybe the end of 2026, sometime in 2026, that's going to be an amazing mega fight for women's boxing.
Now that's one. Name me another one.
Women's boxing is still evolving.
That's the point.
I'm not saying it's going to be a constant thing. It may not be something that we see every time there's a big fight announced. You might see one or two great women fights a year.
But that's what.
But that's also because but I mean that is what it is because again you have, if you look at go to Box Rec right now, for every 10 male fighters you probably got one female fighter. So there's more of y'all in the pool, which means there's obviously more opportunity for great fights. It is what it is. It's just a numbers game. But what I'm saying is that now that it's being seen as even a possibility for women, that we can get paid, that we can get on TV and perform and do what we need to do and get paid, because again, Heather was on TV. Heather, Alicia, Napoleon, all of them, they were on TV.
Yeah, I remember
they were there, but they were not being paid, and people knew that. So it's like, what's the incentive really? They're talking about boxing being a poor man's sport. No, really, boxing was a poor woman's sport, really, for a very long time, and still is. Like, if you're a woman in boxing, it's just kind of like, you're not getting bread.
Yeah, it's kind of like, don't even turn pro.
You're not getting bread. But now that Jake is creating opportunities, let's see what happens. OTX is doing their thing as well. They got this other chick on there, Spanish chick. She a little badass. She got a little attitude or whatever. She's making movement too. So I feel like over the next couple of years, you're gonna see it more and more.
I'm saying you think that's them getting paid that high, because it always just starts from.
There's always gonna be a pay gap between men and women. Period.
No, I'm saying you think now that, because one, obviously women not getting paid a lot because of, like, again, you said, like, the pool of women is smaller. It's not much, so there's not a lot of exciting fights. But you think them getting paid the 6 and 7 million that is gonna kind of force other, like, female amateurs to go pro?
Facts. Did you see the opportunity and say, I got the skill, I go in there, I put on a great show, I do what I'm supposed to do. Even the Olympics this year, a lot of people was tuning in to watch the women's boxing in Olympics. And even though Team USA sucked this year, people were still tuning in. Whether it was because of the controversy with the Was it a man or
I
woman?
Amanda
forgot her
Khalif,
name.
yeah.
Okay, whatever.
Imani Khalif. Imani
Yes,
Khalif.
whether it was that controversial or not, it still was bringing eyes. So whatever the reason is that eyes are being brought to women's boxing. So we just got to take our time and see what happens.
Yeah.
But I just feel like the pay should continue to match the performance and the views. And that is what's happening. And y'all got all these different platforms. You know, Baumgartner's last fight wasn't on a big platform, but still a lot of people tuned in and watched it.
Yeah.
So,
Hey,
and that undercard was crazy as well. Shout out to you, Steph. That undercard was crazy as well. So, yeah.
that's dope. I mean, it'd be great to see more women involved in boxing. Like
It's coming. It's coming.
It's one thing though which helps because Jake is such an outsider. The people who are already in boxing, they have like the promoters. I mean, they have like a bad view on women's boxing. So because Jake is a new promoter,
Right.
he's like
He gonna use that.
He's kind of like, yo, if this woman has all these titles and she's this, why y'all not paying her?
Right. He gonna use
He don't
that.
know. He's like, okay, we're gonna do it. So he's helping her.
yeah.
Do y'all think these old school promoters like the Bob Arams, even though Eddie Hearn is young, he's actually paying Katie, but the Matchrooms, the Golden Boys, do you think they're gonna let that ego go and be like, all right, let's put the woman in the main event, let's do this? Because they haven't yet. Bob Arum did it a few times, but it was kind of like he set them up for failure, like small cards, like you putting them in these little places, like you can't even see how good they can do or not.
Right.
Do you think they'll let their ego go? Like, even though she got injured because something with her hair, Amanda was supposed to main event in Puerto Rico,
Right.
in the stadium or whatever arena, wherever it was.
Yeah, that would be.
Yeah, that would have been huge because the turnout was huge. And even in that fight, Jake was supposed to be the co-main event. He let her go in that slot. Do you think these other promoters will take the back seat and be like, let their ego take the back seat and let the women take charge for once?
I don't know. Y'all men. Would you do that?
Would
I don't think an old person
I'm
would
about
do
to
it,
say.
like a Bob Arum and stuff like that. I think Eddie Hearn will do it
Yep.
because his father was the one who started Matchroom. He's kind of the son that came and took over. And he is doing it with Katie. He's giving her good slots. Older promoters, I think they got to die out.
because they already.
Oh, shit, that sounded kind of bad.
That was about to say.
I don't mean die.
no,
I mean,
we mean like just leave, just
Yeah, leave the
retire,
sport of
retire,
boxing,
retire,
yeah.
Which is not gonna happen until they die. So okay,
Yeah.
die out.
Yeah.
Just, all right.
He said what he said.
After I said, I was like, oh, shit.
But not like, I mean, it's gonna start from the young generation, like you said. It's gonna start from the Jakes and the Eddie Hearns, right? Because the old people are set in their ways, bro. Like Bob Arum's not looking to make another $2 billion, so he doesn't really care. He already set. He ready to.
They're gonna keep doing what makes sense to them.
Yeah, it's never not just what makes
Stick to
sense.
the
What's been
program.
working for them,
Right, stick to the program.
Yeah, just stick to the program. Nothing's wrong. Whatever. They're gonna keep doing that now, but that can work in Jake's favor though. That's gonna work in Jake's favor.
Because he signed a couple other women too. He signed
Exactly.
Shadisha Green, I think that's how you pronounce
Yeah.
her name. She actually was on the card too. She
It
wasn't
wasn't
I think
televised.
it was, yeah, but she was on the card
Okay.
too. So
I mean, it's gonna work. It's gonna work. Eventually, it's gonna happen. Eventually, women will get paid a lot. Obviously, it's always will be a.
I feel like as the
gap.
numbers keep showing and the support keeps growing for
Yeah.
them, and you got a lot of this new wave of boxers, not calling them new wave as in like bandwagon, but it's a new generation of women boxers coming in. They got social media, they getting their followings and all that. So it's gonna work in their favor. That's the thing. Like we're saying, even though it was fucked up, you know, how Heather and the rest of them weren't really paid, times were also different back then.
Yeah.
All we had was Facebook and things like that. Social media wasn't as popping, you know. So it's unfortunate. It's not that we can go back and give them like reparations or anything like that. But now that we do have these platforms,
they paved the way.
that part. But now that we do have these platforms, I think going forward, you're gonna start seeing a turn.
So now let's go to the fight. Even from the hardcore fans to the casual fans, because I've seen casual fans that never post about boxing post about this fight. People are saying this fight is a robbery. Now we rewatched the fight this morning. Did you rewatch it?
I didn't rewatch it, but I watched
But you watched it that time. Now, my initial view of the fight, I wasn't scoring. I just was watching as a fan. I don't like to like be a judge and a fan. And some of y'all got to be realistic. It's hard to score fights if you're not watching the fight to score the fight.
Right.
If you're watching the fight to be entertained, it can look one way
Mhm.
so you're watching again.
Yep.
So everybody is saying that Amanda deserved the decision, and they robbed her by saying it was Katie 95 unanimous 95 to 94. We actually rewatched it this morning, and we both said Amanda actually lost the fight. And when I was watching it, even though I didn't score it, I did remember once the cuts start coming in and she couldn't really see, I felt like she wasn't effective anymore. She just was like a heavy bag, just swinging back. She was still swinging back because she got heart, but I felt like she was getting hit very clean. But I couldn't remember which round that started and shit like that because I didn't score.
Like
I just was watching.
Started like round 5, 6.
5, 6, yeah. So we watched it back, and I want you to start since you watched it live also. Watching the fight, who did you feel like won the fight?
I thought Katie won the fight.
When the first time you watched it?
Yeah.
Oh, you got a good eye.
Okay.
You got a good
I
eye.
thought Katie won the fight, but I did feel like, okay, I didn't like the scoring though. I feel like she won the fight, but I also agree it should have been a draw. That's kind of where I saw
of the point
it. Right.
deduction and everything.
Yeah. So I didn't see it. So if without the point, it would have been 96-94. I didn't see it as that. I figured it was a draw. But then if not, I figured Katie would have won the fight if someone had to win. The reason I say that is because Katie throws in flurries, number one, right? Yes, Amanda was throwing the bigger shots, but a lot of her punches were missing too, those because one, Katie kept coming in forward, and Amanda wasn't really working up the middle, which I didn't understand either. So, yeah, on points, although I guess they were saying like Amanda threw 100 more punches.
Yeah, but you could speak on that because he actually pointed something out. Like
I'm just, they say Amanda threw 100 more. I'm just, like I said, I haven't rewatched it or did anything else from that. From what I saw, I felt like Katie threw more. Amanda looked way better, though. I'm sorry. If I didn't know boxing and was just watching it, yes, Amanda looked like the bigger fighter, the better fighter. Amanda looked like the more effective fighter. Amanda looked like she wasn't getting hurt outside of that big-ass cut. Katie looked drained, worn, and like she was fighting for her life.
Body language.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was from round one. From round one, I honestly said, Katie don't look right. Like the people I was watching it, we were all saying, Katie don't look right. Like something looked off in her eyes and everything. Some people said it was because of the weight cut or whatever, because she typically walk around like 160 or some shit like that. But
damn, she thick.
yeah, so it's like after a while, as a
Katie Taylor
woman,
160?
She thick.
Where that weight go?
oh boy. Anyway, y'all
joking.
got a woman here.
We
Katie
gotta
not
get
here.
2 women next time.
Right, it's crazy. By myself. Y'all stupid. But yeah, I thought that Katie won off points and Amanda won in terms of the show being a warrior and, that fighter's grit.
Good point.
Yeah.
So are you, after rewatching it, how you feel about the fight?
All right, so I know, because I went right after the fight, the next day after the fight, I made a story, and because I thought in the beginning, I thought Amanda won. I was like, damn, that's a robbery, that's crazy. And I was actually going for Katie. I've been going for Katie. She's one of my favorite female fighters, but the way I watched it, obviously I was enjoying the fight and doing something else, but I thought Amanda was winning. The scored would have scored it. I went on and say, whatever. It's crazy. I'm gonna rewatch the fight though. Boom. Watched it this morning. And I scored it. Well, I had scored it 90.
96, 93.
Yeah, 96. Yeah, 96, 93. That's how
Really?
I scored it. That's how I scored it for Katie.
Okay.
That's how I scored it. I mean, I think after watching like the score, and I matched it because I usually match my scorecards with the official scorecards after I score. And when you sent me the picture, I matched it. I think they had it
95, 94.
95, 94. My point wasn't that far off. I think the only thing that I did was the point deduction, that round, I actually gave it to Katie. I gave that round to Katie. They actually all 3 judges give it to the round to Amanda, which made it 10-8, right? I had it 9-9. That was pretty much where the scorecard was kind of off. Yeah. So that's where my scorecard was kind of off. But people talking about, Amanda threw more. There was moments, and I didn't realize that till after, like, because I kept looking like, how was Katie's throwing flurries, right? And then Amanda would still throw more. It's like, I was kind of confused. But I started to realize that when she's walking forward, even when she's far away,
she was just doing this. I was saying that.
She was doing this, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't realize it, but they counting those. Those are not really punches thrown. She's just trying to figure out what what's happening. She just kept doing that.
I feel like because she was really trying to box more this fight.
Yeah, so she was like, this is like, and you see me do, I've done that in one of my fights where I just kind of play.
But that doesn't count,
Yeah.
I'm across the ring and you throwing punches.
That's what I'm saying. But they was counting, because I guess the range there was at, it looked like she was trying to throw and she was missing, but she was throwing. So it was like, I guess it was counting those, but if you talking about punches really thrown at that person, Katie was throwing flurries. And the thing, especially the last 3 or 4 rounds, there was Amanda, people saying Amanda landed the bigger shots. Katie actually landed the more effective shots. Amanda was actually throwing, but she was missing. And then when Katie actually landed, Amanda's face was turning. You know what I'm saying? So again, it wasn't a robbery. It was a very close fight. Very close
It was a
fight.
beautiful fight.
Close fight. Very beautiful. And honestly speaking, and I said that to you. I was like, yo, Kate should have lost the fight by disqualification. Because the fact that the headbutt started, round 3?
Yep.
I think she started headbutting.
But the cut came after, though.
But it don't matter to you.
I
At
know.
one point,
I know.
which I think it was at the end of round 2 or round 3, the ref came to break it up, and Katie accidentally headbutted the ref.
I didn't
He
see
was
that.
like,
So I was talking to somebody about that, right?
Yeah.
Because I felt like the headbutting, the head movement looked, I'm not going to say headbutting. I felt like the head movement of Katie did look very intentional. Someone said to me that that's Katie, like her coach, they practice, she throws her flurries and then she attempts to go in and hold. Or smother, but it did not look like that. It didn't look like in this fight she was attempting to hold or smother. It was just, even when the ref was trying to break it up, she still kind of was like trying to make the contact with the head. So for me, that looked really dirty. And I've never seen I've seen her do that before in the throwing, and either she steps out real fast or she does go and hold, turns him or whatever like that. I didn't see her trying to hold her, turn her, or anything. This time it did look very much like
forced.
I'm purposely. But then I blame Amanda too, though. Because it's just like, okay, if you see, you got to adjust. Like, she didn't step back. She wasn't using the uppercut. If I know you're going to constantly come forward and try to fall in on me, I'm throwing uppercuts. I'm using my angles. And Amanda did not adjust at all in that fight. So I blame her, honestly. Like, they keep saying dirty, dirty, dirty. But if a person's doing something from round 3, and this is what, a 10-round fight? Where's the adjustment?
After two headbutts,
Especially now you cut open. Why are you still
trying to go forward?
Going forward on her like that? Like,
because it was one that was a nasty.
Amanda pissed me off.
That was a nasty headbutt. I forgot what round it was, but it was a nasty headbutt. But Amanda actually walked into that. Katie
and
the man just walked in. Katie obviously lifted her head up. But
so Katie being dirty or not, Amanda wasn't being smart. Yeah. So protect yourself.
She had to be smart. But then again, like I said though, I thought it was kind of weird with the ref. It's like, bro, she been headbutting since like round 2.
Yeah, the ref looked annoyed too, but he kept pulling them and pushing.
It's just like one them, then 2 point deduction. But my thing, they took the point in round.
It was
7 or 8, 7, whatever, right? After that, though, you took the point deduction. She kept headbutting.
Kept doing it, yeah.
And it's like, bro, you're not saying nothing. After that, it's another point. Cause he told her to fix whatever. He said, whatever you're trying to fix it. Yeah. He's like, don't do it, fix it. Whatever you're trying to fix it. And she still did it. And it's like, bro, you gonna take the point? You gonna disqualify her? What you gonna do?
You know, people were saying because of her weight cuts, maybe she just didn't have the legs and kept falling forward. Cool, but then I still put it on Amanda to make the adjustment. And then I'm like, what was her corner saying to her? No one in the corner was like...
It was complaining. Every time they show like a clip of the corner talking, they just was complaining.
Yeah, see, that's...
Which I understand, like, it's a frustrating situation. Where it's like,
okay, but be frustrated after the fight. Adjust in the fight.
Yeah, exactly. You can get frustrated, but then you realize nothing's happening. Adjust.
I'm an amateur. When I'm in my fights and my opponent doing stupidness, second round, he's telling me, do this, do that, do this, do that. Like, we're making adjustments.
Yeah, somebody has to be level-headed.
We could complain about it afterwards.
But you can see by the post-fight interview that the coach was pretty pissed off.
He's pissed off.
It's no level-headed person in the
I didn't
corner.
appreciate that, though. I don't feel like they should have given him so much time. At the end of the day, we still trying to build women's boxing. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, I feel like it was a little disrespectful for him to berate Katie like that. I didn't appreciate that.
But, you know, first time on Netflix, you know, I don't even know who that guy was. So it's different. It was Ariel Helwani. He's not like, he's sit behind the computer and talk. He's not like in the ring. You know how the boxing people, they'll be like, yo, give me the mic. They'll be like, no, like you can't let them grab the mic. He didn't know any better. So like he did steal that moment. Like, it was
I didn't appreciate that.
Yeah, so.
All right.
I mean, I agree with both of y'all in terms of, I feel like Katie won. With the headbutt thing, I would say, she was trying to smother. The reason why it looked so bad because she was getting hurt a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So like she kind of was just like her instinct was to smother, but her body wasn't doing it correctly because she was them shots was hitting.
Yeah,
she was kind of jumping in and was like, and like you said with Amanda, it's like she should have did something. If somebody is like headbutting, oh my bad with the ref because you brought up the ref. Ref should have stopped that fight.
Ref should have stopped.
DQ'd her. Like take away the second point, third time, okay, fight is off because you're not listening.
Right.
You know, it's whether
it's hurting this person, bro. Your head.
Speaking of, so like. Because Amanda did take punishment in this fight with her eye and everything. And Amanda's never really been a defensive fighter to begin with. So, like, how do you think? I mean, I know this was a great payout for her, but it's like her last great payout.
I think it should be. Because at the end of the day, she's been...
Because they already talking about it's going to be fight number 3.
Yeah, no, she's been through wars in the last...
She said no.
Exactly. I don't blame her.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
It was like, I think it was like a day after. I guess her mind was a little bit more clear. She was like, I beat her twice. Well, I got to fight her again for.
This is true.
I don't blame her. I don't blame her.
Yeah, you can call me Robbie or not.
It's too much because it's too much of a war, though. I mean, I believe Amanda should retire. She's done a lot, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Just do the homecoming fight. Just fight in Puerto Rico like you were supposed to before.
And that's it. Call
Call
it.
it quits.
Call it quits. Like she's one of not just female fighters, but she's one of Puerto Rican's greatest fighters.
Yeah, but she put out a post about she gonna die in the ring. I'm just like, girl, come on. I mean, I know you got some good money this time, but come on.
She loves it. I mean, she
don't got
gave her
nothing
life
else.
for it.
But it'd be different if this was 10 years ago. You're already kind of at the end of your career. It's not like you have that many great paydays left. So
But it's like what you said about how MVP opened a new door. So she feel like, yo, my career is just getting started.
No.
Now I'm making money. I get like
she's
the logical.
36.
I get the
Like,
logical part of it, but for her, it's like I've been boxing my whole life. Remember
Cool.
what you were saying? She was like she didn't have no phone,
She
no
had no
relationship.
phone. She
nothing.
had no relationships, no boyfriend. No,
Now
she had
it's
no kids.
paying off.
Yeah, now it's
For
paying off.
for the men, we make sacrifices, but it kicks in a lot earlier. We don't gotta wait until we 38. It kicks in a lot earlier because the
Well,
sport
then I'm
is
gonna need her
already.
to make some adjustments and protect herself better because
She
what
not.
she did
It's too
this
late.
fight,
She too
that's
old.
what I'm saying.
Too late.
What she did this fight, because no different than like when she fought Heather. Heather did not protect herself that fight. Everyone said that going in, like everyone knew Heather doesn't have the best head movement in the world. You're older. If you weren't doing it before, is a very low chance that going into this fight now with someone that you fought a few years ago who punished you badly, that this time is gonna be any different. And yeah, she took crazy punishment in that fight, and now, she got all these medical issues and all that stuff like that. It's like it's not worth it. Like, yeah, you chasing that big payday to come,
It's not worth it.
but it's not worth it because then what do you have after that?
Yeah, then
Because
you
either
got-
which way, you're still not gonna really get that recognition. They
you
might
got
mention you
family.
here and there, whatever, but it's not worth what you're really losing.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. I see what you're
Good
talking
point.
about.
That's like the hardest thing. Like when I see people in the gym that's always sparring and they not fighting, I'm like, yo, I pull them to the corner like, yo, when you gonna stop sparring? I be like, because it's like, yo, you taking
no point.
punishment, like,
Yeah, because ain't no man gonna take care of you. A man could get in the ring and get hurt and punished and still go live a fulfilling life, have kids,
depends.
and have a
though.
woman rub his back
Nah,
It
and
depends.
cook for him and clean for him and cut his steak and feed him. Heather and Amanda are not about to find no man that's gonna sit there, rub their back, and take care of them because of all the punishment they received in the beginning of their career.
It depends because they do got some male fighters that have been got hurt and they're done and nobody is there for them and they're kind of just. So it depends. So I think it
No, it
depends
depends on
on.
the
I'm saying
no,
the
but I'm saying-
likelihood
Yeah, that's what
for
I
a
was saying.
man and woman is different.
Yeah, I'd say for men, it can
He
happen.
has more of a
It can
chance
happen.
of still having
Yeah.
a fulfilling life
But
than a
for
woman
women,
does.
bro, let's be honest.
But I mean, from like when we talking boxing, we're talking CTE. But we're not just talking about like, all right, we can't function the same. It's brain. You're like your brain doesn't work the same way, and because a lot of people don't understand CTE and stuff like that, they're like, oh, you're just fine. They just see it as like anger. Like a lot of times, a lot of serial killers and stuff like that, like football players and wrestlers and stuff, it's CTE. It's not like they just snapped. It's just like the years of brain trauma and stuff like that. And those because like you can't just see that something is wrong. Sometimes they just
But
don't
what
get
I'm
the help
saying is
either.
before they got to that point, they still prior to were able to enjoy life. Whether they had kids, they had women, they had money, they had something. These women have nothing
Yeah.
prior to, and they're gonna have nothing after.
Amanda and Katie are the exception because they're the only ones that's making millions.
They made millions. Where is that money really gonna go? That money is nowhere near a compensation for what they've lost in these past 10, 11,
you're
15
right.
years getting
Right.
there.
They always say a fighter will never make how much that they truly deserve, and if you put it in from a women's perspective, you gotta like
it's
triple
nothing.
that, like
It's
because
nothing.
yeah. So well, I agree
Amanda
with you.
has broken records. Isn't she in the Guinness Book of World Records for some stuff? Like
8 divisions.
All right.
Come
on, she should have
only
been
Puerto
making
Rican
bread.
undisputed champion. Yeah, she has a lot of records. Like,
all right.
a lot of
So
records.
this little $6 million she got is cool, but that's really what she should have received. Because if she was a man who had done that stuff, she would have received that 5 years ago.
Yeah, 100%. 8 divisions, 100%.
Yeah, she would retire.
100%.
Especially the way she fights, she would definitely
Even like
retire.
as
She'd be
much
chilling right now.
as much money that Katie Taylor makes, because she makes a couple million for her fights too, but she has a whole country behind her, and we know how it is when you got a whole country behind her. Look at Conor McGregor; he's also from Ireland.
But now look at what she's also had to do, though. Does she have kids? Does she have a husband? Has she
Sacrifice,
been
yeah.
living and enjoying any type of life? No.
She have no kids. I mean, not kids. No husband. Thought she's married.
I ain't seen no man.
Oh.
You seen a man?
I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. I don't. A lot of fighters I don't follow up on their personal
yeah, I
life.
don't
And
know.
Well, if she got a
especially with
man,
women,
shout outs to her. I'm happy for her. But other than that, it's like women got to work very hard to get
To
a
that
percentage. I'm not even going to say half, a percentage of what the average male boxer gets.
Yeah, and you only talking about 4 out of how much you got, like 4 or 5 that's actually made money.
Thank you.
Out of how much boxers,
4 or 5
women,
what?
4 or 5 women that have actually made money in boxing.
Name me.
No, I mean like money where they don't need a day job.
You talking about now?
You got like 4 or 5. You got Katie, you got Amanda, you got Carissa. Michaela gets a decent amount of money. Not nothing crazy. And you got Alicia Baumgartner.
She's making barely
enough to not need a day job.
Oh,
Yeah.
Alicia Baumgartner's still teaching classes though.
So she take her off the list. That's what I'm saying. no, I'm just saying like
I don't know if she's just doing it for the love of it or not, but
so it's like less than 1%. It's like point something.
And just go back to what I said earlier about the fact that Heather only got 20 grand for her title fight. Bro, in your fights, you probably made more than that. And you were never on her level. No offense to you, but I'm saying in terms of accolades,
I ain't make it that far.
But I'm just saying, if you, okay, let's say you had fought maybe 30 times, you would have made well over $20,000.
I would have been 30 times.
But that's my point. And even if you didn't even win, you could have had a record of like 27-1 and still probably made more than $20,000.
So I'll finish it off on
5 and 15 and still make more than that. Honestly speaking,
I'll finish it off on this question though. Seeing like how one-sided it is in terms of men and women, especially for boxing, because it's like crazy. And sports in general.
Yeah, boxing's crazy.
What motivates you to keep boxing?
I'm angry, bro. I just be wanting to hit people. I got these kids. You know? It's like, yeah. I just like, I enjoy getting in the ring. It's a therapy for me, honestly. I never really thought about going pro, ever, when I like stepped into it. I just was having fun with it. Now, recently, you know, people have been mentioning it because they've been seeing my performance and stuff and sparring. And I've considered it, like, why not? Especially when I'm seeing, even though I feel like women's boxing is getting better, I'm also seeing that there are a lot of delusional people in women's boxing too who feel like they're ready to fight. And it's like, if I go against a few of them, I could get an easy bag too. So it's like, hey, let me see. I'm not saying I'm going to be a world champion, but if I get a quick little $5,000-$6,000 off this chick and a trip to Vegas, why not? Yeah. I'm doing it for fun anyways.
Yeah.
I respect it. Oh, we're going to end it off on that. That was a good episode. I had fun that episode. That was good. Shout out to Morgan. You got to be back soon because they got to do the gang up episode. So
I'm free. I ain't got no job, Craig.
All right, Future Legends podcast episode number 62. We are out.
Yep.